Hi guys, Quinn here, just making a video of PTSD while black. So I've started seeing a therapist regarding my PTSD and trying to learn how to deal with triggers and to eventually be triggered less from events and day-to-day things. And so this was like only my second session with her. And it was just funny because I still have, with my hyper awareness, I still have this belief that I should be able to resolve my issue. And I'm noticing that I'm coming into therapy, I'm wanting to ask for help, but I don't want anyone to help me. Like, I have ingrained this thing of having to know everything, of having to have all the answers because I will be accountable if things go wrong. Even if there are things that I cannot control, I feel I'll be held accountable for when things fall apart or when things go bad. And so that's one of the eye-opening things in my therapy session today was really looking at there's a lot of stuff in life that I can't control. There's a lot of mess that I cannot control. Um, and I think it's that trope of have some personal responsibility for yourselves and your community as Black people. That I've swallowed that, and there's some things that I can be personally responsible for, and there are other things that I really cannot. And so the session today was like really just allowing myself to have my own reactions, my own feelings, my own expression about life without trying to fix everything in the world. And without trying to fix myself right there within that 1 hour session. Um, and I realized, like, geez, that's something I've always done wrong in therapy. Is that I feel like, okay, I need to get out of here and I need to wrap everything up just like a TV sitcom within 30 minutes or an hour. And life is not like that. It's not going to be wrapped up. So we really had to talk on the subject of me asking for help and allowing people to help me. Because a big part for me is that I feel like I'm going to have to owe someone something for helping me, or the obligation, or yeah, that I have to fix everything. I am responsible for everything that happens, and so I'm afraid of letting anybody help me because if they do it wrong, then I got to do it myself anyway. That kind of thing. Um, So it was really, really deep. And my therapist just did the most beautiful thing, which, by the way, my therapist is a Black woman. This time I intentionally sought out trying to have a Black woman as my therapist. And she did the most beautiful thing. I'm sitting there on the couch crying. And she's like, in these sessions, the main thing that I'm wanting to do is to help you to learn to feel safe, because if we don't have safety and we don't have trust in your therapy relationship, then it's going to be very hard for you to get the help that you came here for. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, I don't know how to develop that safety, because with the trauma and the triggers, I always expect things to go wrong or things to not work out, or especially that authority figures, whether that's a therapist or a doctor, would not necessarily have my health at their interest because of some things I've experienced in the past. Um, but I'm sitting there crying, and there's like a table in front of me with tissues on it. I took my cane and hooked it around the tissues, brought them towards me on the edge of the table, and then as I'm crying, I'm just wiping my eyes and blowing my nose and holding on to the tissues. I'm balling them up and sitting them on my lap. And she's like, this is how it's going to work. She's like, as your therapist, I'm here to help you, in this process. And she could see that when I was leaning over, because of the injury in my abdomen, I was like, owie, groaning as I was grabbing tissues. She's like, this is what your therapy is going to look like. She walked over, picked up the tissue box, set it beside me. And she goes, and I noticed you held onto your tissues until you left. the last time. So she brings the garbage can over to me. She's like, this is what your therapy is going to look like. You getting the help that you need, you learning to ask for the help that you need, and that you're with someone who is caring enough to be here to help you, um, and to learn for me to be okay with someone giving me that help that I'm in need of, to ask for it, to expect it, and to be okay with getting it. And I just started bawling because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I'm so stupid. I could have thought of picking up the tissues. Yeah. But it's just like, there it is. And it's great that I'm getting to look at how, one, I try to keep myself safe by not being a burden or a problem for other people. But in doing that, I keep myself in this stuck position of where I can't really get the assistance that I'm needing. Um, and so with the PTSD, it's really this thing of having to be safe, having to be vigilant of everything. And this is just one of, it's not necessarily a trigger, but it's an effect of, um, I guess, of my upbringing with the PTSD. This fear of, if I ask for help, if I ask for assistance, I will not be safe because someone may abuse me, or someone may say, you owe me. Um, I will not be loved. And I need that to feel safe. Um, so it's kind of giving me these things to just think about and experience. But I'm like, dear God, I am so grateful that my therapist is a woman of color. This is awesome. She's almost my age. She gets my references, by the way, when uh, so yeah, I loved it when she said, you come into the therapy room, this is the place where you get to cry, let it all out. You can just be as messy as you want to be. And she got my reference when I said, I like Joanne the scammer. I'm going to get real messy, like, yeah. And we even joked about Viola Davis and the snot crying. I'm like, okay, I can just do the snot crying and go on with my life. That sounds awesome. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy to have the therapist that I have, and to have this awareness around my fear of asking for help, and to learn to where I can expect to be helped, and learning where people are not trustworthy in helping me, and being able to set appropriate boundaries around that so I can let go of this triggering reaction that I have. Yeah, so that's where I am today. Till next time, peace.